Today is the first round of the FIDE Chess Olympiad, and what an exciting day we have had. I'm going to tell you all about it in the Ambit Recap of the day. I'm standing inside the playing hall at the Bok Sports Center, and look at this amazing playing hall. It's simply phenomenal, and I'm going to take you to the board where Team India played against Morocco in the first round. Now, it's such a big hall that sometimes it's difficult to find where the game was happening, but this is where the Team India played. And over here, all the players settled down. The round actually started a bit late, and you could see the players just enjoying with each other some time before the game. You could see Vidit was interacting with his good friend Anish. All the girls were also having a good time with each other, a little bit of relaxation before the tense game began. Now, India was up against Morocco, and on board number 1, we had Praggnanandhaa, who took on the strong IM, Mohammad Tisir. I really loved how Prag dealt with this position. Let's zone in on this position and see what's happening. In this position, you can see Praggnanandhaa has a very nice setup on the king side. His queen and rook are lined up. But somehow it's not easy to make progress. Also, these 4 pawns are really limiting white's pieces. So what does Prag do? He plays this beautiful move, rook g3. I really loved it, because if black takes here, then h3, and this file completely opens up. And so here, if after rook g3, the opponent decided to say, okay, I'm not going to touch there, I'll play rook b8. And now Prag brought his rook to f1, a beautiful move, because he wants to bring his rook here, bring the other rook here, and then try to, so rook here, take this and exchange. So first, instead of rook f1, he played queen h5. This is important. Rook b8. Now rook f1. So his idea is take, get the rook up, and bring the other rook here. Okay. Rook b4 played. Bishop d3. Pawn to c5. Pushing the rook back, and now the rook comes up to f3. And slowly and steadily, Prag is creating a lot of pressure here. The opponent now played rook g6. Prag moved his rook here. So if you take here, maybe he wants to play rook g3, very strong move. Bishop b7 was played, rook g3, queen g7, king b1, rook g8. And we see that the position is kind of boiling up, like a lot of things are happening here. And I think Praggnanandhaa, at the right moment, when such a position was reached, he pushed his pawn to f5. This was a fantastic move, because now, after takes in this position, he took back, and after ef, in came the final blow, which was knight to d5. And after bishop takes, pawn takes, you could see the difference in the quality of the pieces. This pawn is hanging, and even if you try to exchange the queens, I'm never going to trade it. I'll take here. The bishop is bad, and Praggnanandhaa managed to win. So beautiful game by Prag. Actually, it was very complex. You could see how he maneuvered his rooks here and somehow managed to put tremendous pressure on his opponent. Coming to the next game, and a very surprising game, Arjun Erigaisi was playing on this board, and you know what? Arjun's opponent played b4, and I was thinking, what is Arjun going to do? Is he going to move his bishop back? Because this is a major threat in this position. Arjun is black. And you know what Arjun did? He took here, and it blew my mind. What is Arjun doing? Because after takes, queen b1, fantastic move. Attacking the knight. If the knight moves, bishop is hanging. And Arjun played his pawn to c5, and I believe Arjun thought, okay, this is an interesting position. I have bishop takes c4, but white has the very simple move knight f4 here. And I'm not sure what Arjun would have done here. I think he's seriously worse. But the opponent freaked out a bit. He took here, knight takes a6, and after d5, which was played in the game, knight came to b4, bishop g2, takes, 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 take here, rook e8, queen d3. I really liked Arjun's next move, which set the tone for the entire game, b5. Very nice move. If you take here, I have queen a5 check. The king is still in the center. He castled, but now Arjun played b4, and with this passers here, he eventually managed to outwit his opponent, which is actually a great result, because at some point it felt like, oh my god, Arjun might lose his game. But that's how Arjun plays. Third board, and I think the most solid game of the day, and I think Vidit played a brilliant game. I just want to show you his opening strategy because there's a lot to learn from it. Vidit opens the game with e4. His opponent plays e5, knight to f3, knight c6, bishop b5. We had the Ruy Lopez, and opponent goes for the Stenitz variation. Vidit plays d4, bishop d7, and this is where I really loved how Vidit gave up his bishop, played his knight out to c3. So opponent has the bishop pair, but now comes the move queen e2. So he takes, knight takes, bishop goes back, and this wonderful move bishop f4 to long castle. So you put your rook here, and the other rook comes here, and you have like complete flow of attack. Okay, bishop e7 played, long castle, short castle, and now Vidit played another nice move, rook g1. And his idea is g4, g5, just going all out on the attack. And this is where I think black got worried that, oh my god, I don't have space, Vidit is just playing all along. So he sacrificed a pawn, and Vidit said, thank you so much. He took this pawn. Black did not have enough compensation, and Vidit went on to win this game very smoothly. So a nice 3-0 victory here for India. And then Harikrishna. I think Harikrishna showed his class here, keeping control throughout. He was playing with the black pieces. Let's look at this position. Both sides have 3 minor pieces, 2 rooks, and black has a lot of pressure here. White is trying to create some play here. It's black to move, and Harikrishna played this very nice move. It's a very classy move, typical Harikrishna style, playing in the center, solid, correct chess. Knight came to c4. He took, and now another very nice move, pawn takes, and b3. Because now if you take, I take, you take, and the bishop is hanging. So that's the reason why he played queen c1, and I think the game was already over. Queen came to d3, and Hari was completely dominating. He tried to win this pawn, but in came a check, and here he resigned because if king h2, there's also already bishop e5 check. So Harikrishna won the game, and that was 4-0 victory for Team India over Morocco. Let's quickly go and check what happened in the women's section. By the way, this is the India board. There's this board number 2 is actually reserved for Hungary. Although they are much lower rated, the team sits here. And then the board number 1, of course, is USA in the open section. This is the women's board number 1. And here the Indian team, Indian women's team played. We had on board number 1 Vaishali. And Vaishali was playing someone, by the way, India took on Guyana here, Jamaica. Jamaica was the team. And here Vaishali with the black pieces played this very nice little move, knight a5. She's looking at this square over here. I think rook c1 was, rook c1, knight a5, and I think the opponent played knight e5 in this position, and I think completely missed Vaishali's threat of knight b3, attacking the rook, and then picking up the pawn because this is hanging. And then everything became very complicated after knight c4, but Vaishali already had won a pawn. She also played this move knight e2, and later on went on to win the game. So it was a nice little victory for Vaishali here. I think the game of the day for the women's board for us was Divya, because her opponent played so well in this game. Like this we reached in the after 4.5 hours. It's almost equal. I thought, oh, Divya will have to really grind. And I think her opponent finally made an error here, king d7. And this is where Divya was ready. She was like, okay, I have the clamp here, and now this tactic works, e3, because there's a pin. And I think her opponent should have gone king d6, giving up this pawn and trying to play against it. But instead she went for this move, rook e4, and Divya found knight e2, which is a very nice move. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, rook takes d4, rook e5, and here g4 was played, and Divya went on to win this rook endgame. In style, this is a weakness, and she converted it very well. So I think a very good win for Divya Deshmukh here. Vantika was not in her best element. She drew her game, so that was 2.5 points. And this is where Tanya played on the 4th board, and I think Tanya's game was very cool. In this position, Tanya with the white pieces, you can see she has like 2 bishops and a nice center. Opponent has 2 knights, so opponent jumped in here, which is fine. Tanya dropped her bishop back, and now this led to the start of the grind. First c4, pushing this away, knight went back, bishop d3, rook came to d8, played g4, bishop h7, and now queen c2. Very, very nice move. And her point was, if you go back, I'll take, knight takes, and knight takes f7, and then the knight is hanging. So this does not work. So opponent played f5, but after gf, ef, king h1, Tanya was on the attack. c5 was met with d5, rook g1, bishop came out, doubling on the d file, and she attacked and she won. And this was a great win for Team India. 3.5 half. It was a fantastic day for India, and I think all the favorites won. Few games here and there were very interesting. Aronian losing to a 2100 rated opponent, but then eventually managing to win. Mamedyarov losing to a 1900 rating opponent, finally ending in a draw. So this was the first round, and a good start for Team India. We will be bringing you all the action on the day 2. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.